everyone, welcome to my video about this coming full moon. And this full moon is going to be in Taurus and the sun is going to be in Scorpio. So we have this axis going on between these two polarities. Taurus is always about what we value, our resources, what we consider worthy, and it's kind of also to do with how we feed ourselves. Taurus is very sensual and it's very earthy, connected to this earth energy. It's about how we consume, how we feed all these resources, all this kind of abundant stuff. And Scorpio is, of course, this energy of rebirth and letting go. So there's also Taurus is around, it's the sun is in Taurus in the spring, whereas the sun is in Scorpio in the autumn. So there's a kind of Taurian energy of abundance and resources and materials and feeling full and replete. And then the Scorpio energy of letting go and letting things die off and kind of shedding layers. And it's this balance that is coming in now. And we also have the planet Uranus in Taurus, and Uranus is a planet of shocks and surprises, like the thunderstorm, the bolt from the blue. And it's a kind of shaking influence. It's shaking things up and challenging things. And we're being asked to look at how we consume resources, something that is very pertinent right now, especially with all this problems with climate change and kind of ripping off the planet to such a degree that it can no longer be sustained. And how do we live a more sustainable life? How do we do better? What do we need to change? What needs to be shaken up before we can let go of this very consumerist urge, like this Chinese legend of the hungry ghost that just wants to eat everything and consume and consume and consume, never ending and never be filled, because we're kind of like that now with our consumerist society, and it's a very Taurian energy actually. And we also have Saturn square Uranus at the moment, and Saturn is all about restriction and structure and form and kind of the status quo and holding on to things, kind of doing it the way we've always done it, sort of thing. And Uranus is this, as I say, shaking up energy, and it's this tension between the two that is creating a lot of drama in people's lives. You might have feel in your life this tension between what has always been and what's suddenly struggling to come through. There's a kind of almost a revolutionary urge coming through as things get turned upside down and all of that. And because this is also a lunar eclipse, a very long lunar eclipse, that the eclipse is, in ancient times it was associated with the death of kings, and it usually means that something gets turned upside down. It's shocks and surprises, expect the unexpected. So there's a lot of this energy around. So really, for want of a better word, put your tin hat on and expect something unexpected, because it feels like things are being shaken up. There's a lot of this kind of agitated energy, and there is a lot of agitation, and everything is being rocked, and it's like everything is, all structures and foundations are being challenged to the point where we're like, we no longer seem to stand on solid ground anymore. And everything that is meant to hold firm will, but anything that is been a bit shaky, that isn't working, is likely to disintegrate under this shocking, wobbly energy that's going on. And there is this very challenging aspect, as I say. And Uranus is also in opposition to Mars. And this is again the shocks and surprises, but Mars is about your energy and your drive. The positive aspect of Mars is all about getting fired up and getting things done and working hard and reaping the rewards. The negative aspect of Mars is he is the god of war. So this can be tension and arguments and stress and falling out with people. Be very careful around this full moon if you're driving or operating machinery, because there is the potential for accidents. So be careful, because Mars in opposition to Uranus is this sudden shock that can be an accident. Not trying to scare the living out of you, but just making you aware. There are some harmonious aspects. The Sun is squared Jupiter, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It brings Jupiter's sense of, Jupiter brings a kind of enlarging, a kind of going big aspect. It's a big, big planet, and it wants to go big with everything. And it's going big with this sunny aspect. Only negative side of that is maybe some people's egos might go a bit big, because the Sun does represent the ego, and that we might be sort of blinded by our own wonderful thoughts about how great we are and a bit careless of other people. I'm sure that won't happen to you. So it is quite a challenging time, sadly. I'd love to say it's all wine and roses, but no, I'd be telling you fibs if I said that. And this Taurian and Scorpio energy that we have going on is likely to be going on for a while yet, because there's going to be a whole series of eclipses, and they're all in either Taurus or Scorpio. And the nodes of the moon are about to switch into Taurus and Scorpio as well. They're on either side of the zodiac, so they're switching to this axis. So all these things about value, resources, how we consume, what we eat, there might be revelations around food and diet. Be careful around this full moon that you don't overindulge and maybe eat too much, kind of that sort of thing. There's a sense of wanting to fill yourself, wanting to nourish yourself. Nothing wrong with that as long as you're not overdoing it. But this Scorpio rebirthing thing is still chugging away in the background there and bringing a lot of change. And because there's so much energy in Uranus, change can be lightning fast. Something can happen that jerks you out of your comfort zone. Not always a bad thing. But yeah, this is going to be possibly a bit challenging. Expect shocks and surprises. Expect the unexpected, because it is quite likely to happen. Thank you for listening.